we're at this cusp of what kind of country and government are we going to have for the next generation? Are we going to have a government-centered society, or a society that's based on freedom and individuals? We see that the president came in 2008 with all kinds of promises, and they haven't borne out. Yesterday we saw that the unemployment rate was now back up again to 8.3%. And the president and the Democratic members of Congress talk about how they want to create jobs. The fact is they're not creating jobs. Their policies are continuing to fail. And so we need to change direction. And really, to get this economy going again, we need three things. Number one, top of the list, repeal Obamacare. Repeal Obamacare. That's been a wet blanket on the job market since it was passed. And it was an agenda that they came in to take over the healthcare system. Saving Medicare begins with repealing Obamacare. Obamacare took $500 billion out of the program. Doctors are going to leave. They're going to stop practicing. The lines are going to go up. Access to a waiting line is not access to health care. And so all these businesses are looking at, how are they going to comply with all these mandates? And then the Supreme Court comes along and says, wait a minute, it's not a mandate, it's a tax. One of the largest tax increases, in American history. And here the president said he wasn't going to raise taxes. My opponent has voted 23 times to keep all or parts of Obamacare in place. That's not where we want to go. Including a vote to keep the Independent Payment Advisory Board in place, which is that's going to be the rationing panel. What's really going to hurt Medicare. So saving Medicare starts with repealing Obamacare. And then you look at the regulatory onslaught that every single industry is getting hit. Most notably our energy industry. We're shutting down 5 coal-fired power plants in Pennsylvania. We just heard that PBS Coal is laying off 225 people out in Somerset. And it's another wet blanket that's been thrown on the job market. And these guys wonder why we continue to have high unemployment. Well, we need a new direction. Last week in Congress, the House passed a bill, very simple. Let's not have any more regulations that are going to increase costs on business by an aggregate of $100 million. Let's not have any more of those until the unemployment rate gets down to 6%. All the Republicans voted for it. Mark Ritz votes against it. So he stood with the bureaucrats and not with the job creators and the job seekers. And so the policies they're pushing out of Washington are failing. And so we need a new direction. And this year it's so critical. Because if the president's reelected and can consolidate all these gains he's had on big government, the growth of government, the debt. Here's a guy who said that he was going to cut this deficit in half at the end of his first term. We just had our 4th straight $1 trillion deficit. This is kids. This is money our kids and grandkids are going to have to pay back. It's money that they're borrowing from China. And do we want to have China as our banker? I don't think so. We got to get a hold of the spending crisis that we have. And then the president now wants to raise taxes on the job creators. One more wet blanket. It's the wrong direction. So this is the year that everybody has to be engaged, and it's good that you're here. This is one of our super Saturdays. We have to get the vote out. You have to go to your friends. You have to go to your members of groups that you're in, your churches, wherever you can, to talk about the importance of this election and restoring freedom in this country. And then we're going to start to see job growth. So I look forward to working with you. Our campaign is going great. I'm going back and forth. I'll be in Beaver County this afternoon and Allegheny County tonight, and I hope I'm going to be back here tonight, also in Westmoreland County, but we'll see if I get there. But it's a lot of work to get done. This district goes from the Ohio line over to Johnstown and down into Somerset. It's a great district. It's America's new energy capital. We bisect the Marcellus field. So we got a lot of opportunity here to relight America from southwestern Pennsylvania if the federal government lets us. So I'm glad to be part of the team. I look forward to working with you. And so let's get out there and let's win this one. So thank you.